April is soon coming to a close. With that comes the month of May. Today we will be discussing sneakers to resell in the month of May. And if you're not into reselling, that's okay as well. You could use this guide to know what are going to be the most limited sneakers, the most hype sneakers, or even what popular general releases may potentially go on sale because, hey, we're all trying to save some money. Specifically, we'll be discussing the name of the sneaker, the retail, the release date, and whether the sneaker will be profitable or not, or if they may even sit on shelves, resulting in a sale price. But you have to subscribe, enable post notifications. This way you're always 100% updated on all these profitable releases. Also, be sure to follow my Twitter for urgent updates and info, KeithAdam10, and also personals for you, such as the recent shock drops we have been seeing. While April was quite slow, luckily May is looking significantly better, so buckle up. Kicking it off with May 3rd for $175, the Jordan 1 stash will be dropping. Although these don't exactly look aesthetically appealing to many of you guys, there does appear to be some decent demand on these, perhaps sufficient to hold up for lunch money profit with a subpar margin. Nothing too notable though. Although I can't personally get behind these, I do understand that some appreciate the unique concept that these do offer, and they'll most likely end up being used for one particular purpose, just like Travis Jordan 6s were. Then on May 4th for $110, the Dunk Low Fossil Rose will be dropping in the US, while they already dropped in Europe in early April. All sizes of these should be profitable with a great margin, with larger sizes being the best. Considering the majority pairs in today's video will be performing best in larger sizes, you could just assume that that will be the case unless specifically described otherwise. Then on May 5th on Nike sneakers, we do have quite a few Dunk restocks in the US. First, we have the Dunk Low Next Nature Black and White, which of course is very similar to the Panda Dunk, thus has very notable demand with a retail of only $110, allowing them to still remain very profitable with a great margin. The same goes for the Dunk Low Court Purple, which is also restocking in the US for $100 and will still remain very profitable with a great margin due to their notable demand. We also have the Dunk High Pink Prime restocking for $110. These should also remain profitable with a good margin, although not as great as the prior two dunks we just discussed. And lastly, for the 5th, we also have the Dunk Low Safari Mix, also known as Patchwork, releasing for $110. Unfortunately, demand and pre-sale on these is already very low. At best, I'd only expect lunch money with a poor margin on large size 10 and up, and that's if you have no tax in your state. Otherwise, these are mostly just personals. In addition to many more hyped releases this month, I also have some incredible news for those of you who have been patiently waiting. If you're looking to take your reselling game to the next level, whether it be through sneakers, clothing, PS5, GPUs, sports cards, artwork, NFTs, Funkos, concert tickets, and much more, then you're in luck. Endurance will finally be having a limited restock on May 3rd, Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 p.m. CEST, via the Endurance Twitter. Stressed about copying from Nike sneakers shock drops, stashes, and scratchers? Don't worry, Endurance has your back, just like it has for the past 4 years of providing early information with exact times, dates, drop methods, and even free custom-coded spoofers for members to ensure everyone's able to cop with ease. Don't take it from me though, the success really does speak for itself, such as the 300 pairs and well over $500,000 in cumulative profit on the MCA Air Force One, in addition to the recent ICA Air Force One sneaker stash as well. Furthermore, in addition to numerous free software programs and Chrome extensions to help you cop manually, such as our free auto checkout extension that supports numerous sites, or even our Q tool to help pass any type of waiting room, we're also always innovating to find bypasses and exploits on new sites for our members, such as our recent cookouts from our QIT bypass links for Snipes, New Balance, and much more. Or how about the early new domain links on Shopify drops? If there's an advantage to be had, rest assured, Endurance will find it first. I could really spend all day listing every single feature, from retail plugs in numerous stores to custom monitors and early link, but instead, I'll let you check out the Endurance website and Twitter yourself, link in the description below. Besides, the success and members themselves quite literally speak for themselves. So remember, the limited Endurance restock will take place on May 3rd, Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 p.m. CEST, via the Endurance Twitter. Then on the 6th, for $120, the Reebok Club C Tyro Winston will be dropping, as well as the Question Mid for $160. Unfortunately, demand is very low on these despite the low retails. These both are looking to be personals only, unfortunately, but don't sleep if you do want a personal, as I do still expect these to sell out. Then on the 7th, for $150, the Air Max 1 Skunk will be releasing. If these do end up looking familiar to you, that's because this colorway's inspiration actually derives from the extremely hyped SB Dunk Skunk that most of you guys are probably familiar with. Hence, although this colorway may not appear appealing initially, this is why there still is some decent demand on them. Therefore, I am still expecting these to remain profitable with a decent to good margin. Nothing close to the SBs, of course, though. Also on the 7th for $200, the long-awaited Jordan 9 Chile Red will be dropping after multiple delays. Demand on these is actually rather impressive for a Jordan 9 to say the least. I'm expecting demand to hold up for these to remain profitable with a decent to good margin, especially in large sizes. Definitely need that personal too. Let me know what you guys are thinking of these. Also on the 7th for $210, the Yeezy 450 Sulfur will be dropping. Unfortunately, I'm not expecting much from these based on how the prior 450 releases performed, such as the resin. Hence, I'd say these are mostly just personals, unless you do already have local buyers for small sizes, and don't sleep if you do want a personal, as I do still expect them to sell out. Then on the 8th, we may potentially be seeing the Jordan 4 Zen Master finally released after a delay for $210, although I do suspect that these are actually going to be delayed again, potentially to the end of May, or possibly even later than that. I'll have to keep you guys updated on that, but of course, just make sure you subscribe with notifications enabled. This way you guys stay up to date on those or any other hype sneaker. Whenever they do end up dropping, however, expect them to be profitable with a very good margin. There is certainly a very notable amount of demand on these. Moving on to the 10th for $110, the Dunk Low Cider will be dropping in the US, as they already dropped in Europe not too long ago. These should remain profitable as well with a good margin. Also on the 10th for $130, the Jordan 1 Mid Tie-Dye will be dropping in the US. Unfortunately, these are mostly just personals, unless you do have no tax and you're okay with a poor margin still. Also on the 10th for $140, the Jordan 1 Zoom Comfort Multicolor will be dropping in the US after they already dropped in Europe. Unfortunately, these are also mostly just looking like personals, unless you do have no tax and you're okay with a very poor margin. And the same goes for the Dunk Low Next Nature Sequoia, which is also dropping on the 10th for $110, but only for sizes 11 and up. Then on May 11th for $200, the Jordan 6 Midnight Navy will be dropping after a delay. Now, although demand looks pretty high right now, I'd only expect lunch money with a poor to subpar margin on large sizes at best, primarily if you do have no tax in your state. Then on the 12th for $160, the Converse Aeon Active CX will be dropping. Similar to the other colorways, I'd expect these to mostly just be personals, unfortunately. Then on the 13th for $225, the Jordan 2 A Ma Maniere will be dropping. Although Maniere collabs have done well in the past, Jordan 2s in general tend to carry lower than usual demand. I would expect these Jordan 2 Manieres to perform somewhat in the same range as the Jordan 2 Union Gray Fog. So with the retail being relatively high at $225, it should still allow for some profitability, but only with a decent margin, especially after the high shipping that Maniere is going to charge. Then on the 14th, the Yeezy 500 Granite will be dropping for $210. Similar to many recent 500s, I'm not expecting these to have too much demand and thus are mostly just personals, unfortunately. Also on the 14th for $190, the Jordan 11 Low 7210 will be dropping. Unfortunately, these are mostly just personals unless you do have local buyers and you're still okay with a poor margin and have no tax in your state. Most importantly, on the 14th for $200, the Jordan 3 Neapolitan Dark Mocha will be dropping. Demand on these is already very notable, and I'm expecting to hold up enough for these to be profitable with a good margin, especially in large sizes. Let me know what you guys are thinking of these compared to the 2001 Mocha 3s. I personally think the pink accents work pretty well on this colorway, but let me know. Then on the 15th, the Jordan 6 Wash Denim will be dropping in grade school sizes. I'd expect these to just mostly be personals as of now. Moving on to the 16th though, the Yeezy Slide Glow Green, Onyx, and also the Pure will all be restocking for $70 each, all of which will remain very profitable with a great margin thanks to that very low retail on each of them. Jumping to May 20th, the Jordan 5 Low Clot will be dropping for $225. Unfortunately, like most Jordan 5 Lows, I'd expect these to be mostly just personals. Clot has lost the hype that they once did carry in their older collaborations, so this doesn't add much weight to these 5 Lows anyway. I'd expect them to sell out still, so if you do want a personal, don't sleep, and that glow in the dark is pretty cool. Then on the 21st for $200, the Jordan 700 V3 Fade Carbon will be dropping. Similar to the other recent 700 V3s, I'd expect these to mainly just be personals unless you do have no tax and you're okay with the poor margin still. More importantly, on the 21st, and perhaps my favorite drop this month, for $200, the Jordan 4 Military Black will be dropping. Demand on these is already looking great, and I'd expect it to hold up enough for these to be profitable in all sizes with a good margin, full throttle for sure, and need that personal pair. Then on the 23rd, for $185, the Off-White Air Force One Mid will be dropping in two colorways, black and white. Even though these are really out there to say the least, considering these are off-white, there will inevitably be some demand, and most likely at least enough for lunch money with a subpar margin, or possibly even more than that. We will have to see as we do approach the release though. Then on the 25th, we should be getting the US drop for the Jordan 1 Heritage for $170. Unfortunately, they did already brick after the Europe drop though, hence unless you do have local buyers, these are mostly just looking like personals. The same goes for the Jordan 5 Easter, which drops on the 27th for $210, mostly just personals for these as well. And the same goes for the Jordan 5 Green Bean, which is returning on the 28th for $200 after a delay, and again, mostly just personals for these. Then sometime in May, but no precise date as of now, the Yeezy Basketball Knit Slate Azure will be dropping for $260, and like most of these, I'd expect these to mostly just be personals. Unfortunately though, as usual, many more drops, especially through the second half of the month, will pop up as we go through it, so make sure you subscribe and enable post notifications for it. But anyway, that will conclude it for today. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed, or perhaps if you learned a thing or two. The limited endurance restock will take place on May 3rd, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 p.m. CEST via the Endurance Twitter. Last but not least, make sure to follow Keith Adam 10 and personals for you. This way you guys stay updated, not urgent info like I was discussing today. With that though, I will see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day.